Biohazard warning. Entering contaminated zone. Transmissions jammed. Proximity coverage only. Backup activated. System rebooted.
What's up, guys? This is your boy Sly here, back with some more of that Division goodness. Hopefully everyone has moved past all of the Delta errors and map glitches to a more playable and enjoyable experience. While it wasn't the smoothest DLC launch I've seen, I am loving some of these new weapons, one of which I'm about to talk about right now. Either way, I hope all of you out there are enjoying the new content, and I have to admit the underground scene is definitely something different. I actually kind of like it. So far, by the rewards I've received from just 5 to 6 caches, it's been more than worth my time. I'll have a review video up about the entire DLC here soon, but one thing I wanted to get out to everyone is this SVD. At first glance, it looks like an average sniper rifle. It has low damage in comparison to the M1A and M44, but its performance is where this thing really shines. It is by far the most accurate sniper rifle in the game. This is even better than the broke balance talent on the M1A a few months ago. Its accuracy is that good, and this is where it stands out and where it shines. It has straight up and down recoil, and you know exactly where your bullet is going to go. As you can see here in the gameplay, even when I shoot the SVD as fast as I possibly can, the reticle bloom is pretty much non-existent. The continuous and predictable recoil, along with the super tight reticle and non-existent bloom, puts this as probably my favorite gun of the update so far. Now, I haven't had the pleasure of wielding the showstopper yet, but I was lucky enough to get the X45, the SVD, and the G36, all at 229 from my first 3 caches from the underground. And while the G36 is an absolute beast right now, unfortunately, we already know that the devs are lowering the base damage of it next time an update comes along. In the State of a Game on June 28th, the morning in which the underground launched, you can actually watch it in its entirety right here or click the link below. They stated that a few bugs have made their way into the underground, and they are in no way game-breaking, but they are planning on dealing with it at a later date. The overpowered G36 was one of those bugs, so with the words of the devs themselves, enjoy it while it lasts. Now back to this SVT, man, this thing sounds mean, and you can shoot a bear at 50 cal, and it sounds just like it. It sounds powerful. I love it. Also, you can see right here the damage, it's really not all that high. It's not quite as low as the MK16 or the MK20, but not quite as high as an M1A. Once again, the trade-off is in its behavior. With the M1A's accuracy lessened in 1.3, the SVD seems like a god among sniper rifles. However, with this kind of damage and dealing with any enemies above level 32, you're going to need to be on point with your headshots. Body shots will absolutely drain your reserves, and they drain them very quickly, and pretty much amount to mosquito bites. However, landing fast-paced headshots is a breeze with the SVD. Then there is the reload, another feature that cannot be beat. It's actually faster to reload this weapon than it is to reload equip it using the Lone Star set. This allows you to make up for that lessened overall damage with more consistent headshots. So when I first learned of this new talent, Decisive, which is the one present on all SVDs, I didn't think much of it. I actually started to hate it. But after seeing the trade-off of damage for enhanced performance, it starts to make sense. If you are built for critical hit damage, you can specifically put a critical shot on a target and a critical headshot at that, and for a sniper rifle, that's a pretty big deal. Now, if I had to give this weapon a rating, I'd give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. The only downsides are the damage, the firing speed, and the bullet count, but those are minor annoyances. You can get an extended mag and pack in almost 19 shots. Although compared to the almost 40 in the Mark 16, it's not the best of compromises. All in all, if you find a 182 or a 163 SVD, pick it up yourself and test it out. Now, of course, don't judge it based on the damage because it'll be low at those levels, but just shoot it unmodded and see how it feels. The first time I picked it up, it actually blew me away. Even though I absolutely miss the harder hitting M1A, I've been using this non-stop, and when I tried to switch back to the M1A, the reticle bloom all of a sudden is a huge annoyance. It's right then that you actually realize how many shots you actually miss when using the M1A at a rapid pace. With that said, the damage between the two over time almost becomes even. So let's take a look at the SVD itself. Now, as you can see, my firearm score isn't crazy high right now, but it's at a comfortable point while keeping at least 300k toughness. Now, I've been trying on so many new things, I have stuff spread out everywhere. But right now, my modded SVD sits at 32.1k total damage, 260 rounds per minute with 19 in the mag modded. My talents are deadly, brutal, and decisive. I actually had to re-roll this to get brutal. So right here, this is another great example of how re-rolling one talent can make a world of difference. But even before I had these talents, it still impressed me. I would recommend to go all damage or one damage talent and critical damage increase. Brutal is probably going to be your #1 priority with this weapon, and depending on your build, there are many great ways you can set up this rifle. As far as mods go, this is interesting because of how accurate this weapon is. You can increase the rate of fire on the SVD and it barely penalizes the accuracy at all. It does feel a little slow at first, but this is something you'll get used to, and it welcomes a faster rate of fire. I would go for responsive, brutal, fierce, or brutal, deadly, and keep the SVD talent. Then mod for critical damage, headshot damage, and mag size increase. This weapon is best used with a weapon damage mag mod, but like I said earlier, if you add a mod that increases the rounds per minute, giving you faster fire rate, it handles beautifully. So take a look on screen, guys. Here's the weapon with its stock rounds per minute. Notice that when I shoot, the reticle barely breaks itself apart. Now, as soon as I switch off the weapon damage mod that I always use on marksman's rifles and put my best primary mod that has rate of fire increase, take a look at it now. It boosts it up past what the M1A would do, and take a look at that accuracy, guys. It stays really tight when spamming the trigger. For comparison, here's the M1A. Now remember, y'all, they changed the M1A at 1.3 and the reticle bloom is now much larger. You see the difference? It is a huge difference, and my M1A has accurate on it. So if yours doesn't, it's going to be worse than this. Now, once you get used to how it fires, it quickly becomes a very deadly weapon. However, it does feel a little sluggish in comparison to the M1A. Now, that might just be me, but when dealing with rushing enemies and aiming like up close, it did feel a little bit slower. Nothing a little sensitivity couldn't help with, but I just wanted to point that out. All in all, guys, this weapon is definitely one that y'all should be looking for as soon as possible. Now, I wasn't too sure how a lower damage sniper rifle would fit in with such beasts like the M1A and M44, but it surpasses my expectations. The only downfall, like I've been saying the whole time, is the less damage overall. But with the right mods, the right talents, and good aim, you can make up for it rather easily. However, once you pick back up a God Roll M1A, God Roll being the key word here, you realize why the M1A is the best marksman rifle in the game. However, if you have an average M1A with low headshot damage, average talents, then the SVD could easily be the better option. I recommend to start ranking up the underground and check it out for yourselves. Or if you're lucky enough, maybe one of these caches will bless you with one like it did for me. But that's it, agents. Just wanted to give you all my opinion on the SVD, and for those out there who haven't found one yet and you're looking to see if it's even worth grinding for, well, here's your answer. While it won't replace a God Roll M1A, its super accurate behavior, cool sound, and very predictable recoil make it a hard weapon to pass it up. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching and for supporting the smaller YouTuber. Couldn't do this without you all, guys, and if you want to stay up to date on everything The Division or Destiny Rise of Iron, follow me on Twitter at SlyNation or subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. I try to cover as much as possible, and I try to make the best guides as possible to help all those out there who are looking for it. Thanks again, agents, and until next time, this is your boy Sly. Done, gone, out.
Ammo inbound. Zone B secure.